And the reason why I use FL Studio year after year, the number one reason is because yo Wagwan, hope you're having a great day. In this video, I'm going to be reviewing FL Studio 20. Yes, I'm going to be reviewing the program that I've been using on this channel for over a year. I think I've been using it for nearly 2 years. I don't think I've hit that 2-year mark, but just about 2 years. So I'm going to be giving you a lot of good insight into the program from someone who's actually actively used it, and I used to use it back in the day for, let's say, a few months or whatever, so it probably does add up to over 2 years at this point in time. So I'm going to give you some insight into FL Studio as a producer as well as FL Studio as an artist. I'm going to be going through the different versions and letting you know which version is the best for you, which one should you spend your money on, and we're going to be looking into the different features that comes with FL Studio, why I've been using it consistently to produce my beats, and whether you should do the same thing. Now, if you don't know who I am, I'm Jay Carteret from jcarteret.com, teaching you how to be better at music, marketing, and online business. This is the #1 spot for musicians and creatives that don't want to be starving artists. So if that sounds like you, click on that subscribe button, check out the rest of the content on the channel because you will love it here, guaranteed. Now, if you've seen any of my other reviews, then you know the way we do this. If you haven't, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk through the sales page of FL Studio, and I'm going to basically see whether they're telling the truth or whether it's just marketing spiel, and giving you some insight into my experience using FL Studio, as well as going through the actual program because I do use it on a daily basis, so why not? Okay, so before we get into it, my question of the day is, what do you currently use to make your beats and record your songs? Let me know in the comment section down below, and let's get straight into it. FL Studio, okay, I've been using this. I've released my first video on it in May of 2019, so that's how I basically estimated how long I've been using it. So it's over a year. I'm not 100% sure if I was using it for a few months before I put out a video or what have you, but I used to use it back in the day when I first started my production journey, and I did use it for a few months there. So let's just add it up and round it up to 2 years of usage. So on this page it says FL Studio, the fastest way from your brain to your speakers. I mean, I love the FL Studio workflow, but I have to give you a caveat with that. I feel like any DAW, you'll love the workflow as long as you learn it, as long as you use it for a while and you get used to it and you start to learn the shortcuts and you start to learn how the DAW works. At that point, you're going to be working very, very fast. So I believe that can basically apply to any DAW. Now, for the past 2 years, I've only been using FL Studio, so I can't really compare it to anything else. I use Studio One for my recording purposes, but I only use FL Studio for beat recording, or not beat recording, beat making. And I do believe FL Studio is very, very good for beat making because it just makes everything simple and straightforward, and that is very, very important. So FL Studio is used by a bunch of people. A bunch of your favorite artists and producers probably use FL Studio. That's not something we need to get into right here, but also you can actually just get a trial of FL Studio and try it out. I'll leave a link down below, or go to jcarteret.com/FL Studio. You can make beats in FL Studio. That's what this is basically saying. You can make beats, you can save projects, you can export them in MP3 and WAV and whatnot. Like, that's just standard, yeah? I highly suggest you download the trial and check it out and see if FL Studio is right for you, and give it a few days, a few weeks of trying out the different elements and getting used to the actual DAW. Now, the mixer is pretty cool, but you know, the mixer in any DAW is pretty much just a mixer. Like, it's not anything super special. Let's actually bring in my mixer from my project. Now, this is my mixer. This is the mixer of my R&B trap template, I believe. And yeah, you can get my R&B trap template on my guitar trap beat mixing template, links down below. The template basically makes your beats half mixed before you even get to the mixing stage, and we've just got a bunch of EQing. We've got some side chaining. For example, this kick when the kick hits, our bass automatically goes down, and we do that by using a free peak controller as well as free EQ and whatnot. And yeah, this is the mixer. You can turn things down. You can enable things. You can pan things to the right, pan things to the left. You can make things mono. You can make things stereo. Yeah, just mixer stuff. You can add automations using the mixer parameters. So let's say if I wanted an automation of this 808 volume, we could create an automation clip from here. And it's very, very easy to create automation in FL Studio. I really like and enjoy that. But let's get rid of the mixer. That isn't something that we really need to go super deep into. If you've used any DAW, you understand what a mixer does, okay? Now the browser and playlist, it says no other DAW matches the flexibility of FL Studio's playlist. Sequence all elements of the project to make the final song. Tracks can hold notes, audio and automation. Place any data type anywhere and even overlay them. Use the browser to organize all the data in your project. Free your workflow and your mind. Now, I don't know if this is the best and easiest way to ever make a song in any DAW, but I do like the freedom that you do have. You can place a pattern with MIDI in it. You can place audio with audio in it, and so on and so forth. You can just simply place samples straight down. If I wanted to, let's say I wanted to put this rim sample in my playlist, I can just drag that in there and I can have that there. So whatever way you like to lay out your songs is very, very flexible there. Now, I usually work in MIDI and audio. I'm not really flinging samples on my track unless I'm using like an uplifter, a downlifter, or a transition basically. So that's when I'll use, you know, I'll just drag a sample into my track. But some people like to set up their drums like that. Honestly, I just use the FL Studio drum thing. So let's bring this to all. And with this drum sequencer, which I believe is a great addition to FL Studio and just makes everything easier, you can quickly come up with a drum beat, and then you can go into the piano roll to actually fine tune that and get the perfect drum beat. So that's how that works, okay? The browser and the playlist. The piano roll, here's where you go deeper into stuff and fine tune your melodies and your patterns. It says FL Studio's piano roll has the well-deserved reputation as the best piano roll in the business. This piano roll is used to send note and automation data to plug-in instruments sequencing. It includes a wide range of tools to aid complex score editing and manipulation. And honestly, the piano roll is pretty good. Let's quickly create a very simple beat here. So we'll go kick, yeah, we usually have a clap there. It's got a little bit of bounce there. And then we'll add some hi-hats. Oh, no, not going to the piano roll. We'll just fill each 2 steps. Very, very easy to do that. Then we'll go into the piano roll, and here we can do some hi-hat rolls, okay? When we went to fill each 2 steps, it actually created these MIDI notes that we can actually manipulate in the piano roll. So let's listen back to this. And now we can pick one of these notes. Let's say, now let's do a 3rd note. Pick the 3rd note, and we can select that, press Alt and U to chop it up, and now we've got a hi-hat roll. Very easy, and we can change the velocity just over here. We can change this control to panning if we want some pan left and right, that sort of stuff. There's a bunch of different options in here, but generally I'm just using the velocity and the pan. Now and again I might do, I don't really do pitch slides, to be honest. But you can do all of that in here, and this is what we've got now. And obviously this is a whack beat. Like, I'm not really trying to make this be a great beat or what have you, so don't judge me on that. I'm just really trying to show you the possibilities. Fair enough. Now, instruments and effects, you can basically add instruments in the DAW. Like, I don't really need to walk through that with you. You can add different VSTs. FL Studio also comes with a variety of VSTs. Let's use one of the VSTs that FL Studio comes with. So let's use, I don't really use these VSTs ever, to be honest, if I'm being real with you. But let's use Citrus. And let's see what presets we've got over here. Let's do something like, we want basically a bell type thing. Let's see what kind of bell type things they got. Nah, I'm not liking that. That actually doesn't sound too bad. So with this bell, first I'm gonna route it to my R&B trap beat mixing template. Very, very important. Remember, link down below to the template, or go to jcarteray.com/FL templates. So let's just create a chord progression real quick so you can kind of hear what this would sound like. So 1, 6, 5, 4. There we go. And because the drums don't go that far, it sounds a bit weird. But if you just solo these bells, then this is what we got. Mediocre melody, but you know, I'm just showing you the possibilities. Okay, you got instruments in there, innit? Very, very straightforward. Now we could go to discover all features, and that's just going to bring me to compare all the additions, so let's not do that right about now. But here they're showing us, you know, they've got different synths, effects and tools. They do have a nice variety of tools that you can use without really needing to buy third-party mixing tools and all that sort of stuff. They've got samples, loops and presets, but I've never used any of like the loops or samples or anything like that in FL Studio, so I can't really speak on that. So basically that's that. You might as well get into the different features, and I'll talk about which version of FL Studio you should get. Okay, so it depends on what you're coming to FL Studio for. If you want to just make beats, yeah, then what you should get is the producer version. This is going to give you the most stuff for your money and the most relevant stuff for your money. I believe this also comes with, what's that plugin that people like that I hate because it just doesn't work? Not Halftime, Gross Beat. Let's see, where's Gross Beat? Okay, Gross Beat is actually only in the signature version. So if you want Gross Beat, get the signature version, but that wouldn't make sense. It wouldn't make sense to purchase the signature version just for Gross Beat, because then you're paying about £80 for Gross Beat when you can get Halftime for about, I think it's like $10 around there, but it's so cheap that you could get the producer version and get Halftime, which I believe is superior to Gross Beat, and you'll have the same effects and pretty much be able to do whatever you want. Now, if you're planning to get other third-party instruments and all that sort of stuff, just get the producer version. That's all you really need at this point. You can always upgrade down the road. However, if you're planning to make songs in FL Studio, if you're planning to maybe use your studio as a studio for other people and allow other artists to record songs and all that sort of stuff, and you want to make some money on the side doing engineering, get the signature version. Yeah, why? Because the signature version comes with great stuff like new tone. Yeah, it also comes with pitcher. Now these two plugins are pitch correction plugins, which is almost necessary in this day and age, and it will save you having to buy auto tune or waves tune or nectar or any other pitch correction plugin. Okay, and you're gonna get a bunch of other plugins as well, such as stereo shaper. You're gonna get some other plugins as well, but you know, it's not that deep. Pitcher and new tone is rarely the things that you're trying to get in this signature bundle. But if you're gonna just buy auto tune and you're gonna buy waves tune or something like that, then you can definitely go through the producer version. But I would say you really want to go for either the producer version or the signature version. The all plugins bundle is just wild. I wouldn't suggest going with that unless there are plugins, you've done some research and you've seen that FL Studio has a bunch of plugins that you're going to want to use, and you're not planning on making a bunch of purchases on third-party plugins, then maybe go for the all plugins bundle. But honestly, I don't think that's necessary. I think you'll be in good hands with the signature version or the producer version. Would I suggest you get in the fruity version? I would suggest you only get this if you completely don't have the money to buy the producer version and you just need to get the cheapest version. Then it's okay to get this and then upgrade to the producer version when you can. I do believe there are a variety of things that aren't included with the entry version. Let me quickly see. Not a lot, to be honest. You're not missing out on a lot, but I do remember at some point it was like you couldn't even, like, you're not able to import MP3 files if you're using this version, like this version. I'm unsure if that's changed. Yeah, you can't drag audio clips to the playlist. That is a big thing. You can't even do audio recording. These are big features, yeah, big features that you're missing out on if you use this free version. So I highly suggest you go for the producer version as soon as you can. Afford it, it's worth it. Go to jcarterray.com/FL Studio, get yourself a free trial, try it out, see if you like it. If you like it, I would suggest grabbing it. I did record, I think, about 5 or 4 songs using FL Studio. I don't believe it's the best thing to record songs on, but I do believe it is the best DAW to make beats with, because it's just so easy to use, so quick to pick up and quick to get into a good workflow that allows you to make beats consistently. And if you put a year or 2 into it, it's very simple to master and get your own groove and be able to whip up beats. So I highly suggest FL Studio. I'm still using it to this day and I'm still getting a lot of use out of it. So, you know, that's my review. Is it worth the price? I say yes, it is worth the price. At under £300, you're going to be using this for years. It's definitely worth the price. Like, hopefully you're gonna make some money out of it with making beats and making music and what have you. So you should be able to make this back pretty smoothly. How does that sound? Good? Good stuff. Now, if you want to get your beats half mixed before you even get to the mixing stage, do not sleep on my beat mixing templates. I've got a R&B trap beat mixing template and a guitar trap beat mixing template. Those are my best templates that I highly suggest you check out. And if you use these templates, your beats are going to be half mixed before you even get to the mixing stage, and that's going to save you a bunch of time. These are the templates that I personally use to make my own beats. All you need to do is go to jcarterray.com/FL templates or click the link in the description to grab those, okay, and check out the different templates that I have on offer. Great stuff. You're gonna save yourself a bunch of time, which is gonna enable you to make more beats faster and make more money. Doesn't that sound good? Of course it does. Now, in the next video, you're going to learn more about music, online business, and online marketing. And I'm going to see you there. So peace out and take care.